I started noticing something a few weeks ago I couldn't really explain. I pick up my phone, go to Instagram, and then I would just get irritated and annoyed. And so I would just put my phone down and try to go about my day. But inevitably, 20 minutes later, I would get a notification, or I would just pick up my phone, go to Instagram, start doom scrolling, and get irritated and annoyed and dysregulated. And that's when I realized I think I have a problem. That's when I remember reading about how your brain can get dysregulated by dopamine spiking from social media, from online games, online shopping. Your brain craves novelty, and so you get a hit of it every time you receive a new like or you receive a share. And so your brain actively seeks that out, especially during things that could be kind of boring, like work or a job. That's when I decided I need a break from social media. The only problem was I work part-time as a social media manager, so it kind of be like being a bartender who's in AA. But I figured the most time that I could probably devote to this would be a week. So that was my time frame. 1 week without Instagram. But if I was going to be successful, I was going to need to set some parameters. So the question was, do I delete Instagram or do I just mute it? This is actually very difficult because my entire social life is kind of wrapped up in Instagram. It's where I message all of my friends. It's where I keep up with news. It's where the groups that I follow are. And then I thought, what if I miss something important? What if I miss a message? That's when I realized that that's the dysregulation talking. That's my brain not wanting to give up its dopamine supplier. Life will still be there when I get back, and I didn't want a chance getting sucked back into doom scrolling. So, Instagram deleted. Normally I would just hop on my phone and mindlessly scroll Instagram while waiting for a charger to open up, but I'm not doing that this week. So we'll have to figure out some other way to entertain ourselves while we wait. Definitely being tested because typically there's a free charger right away. But today one of the chargers was broken, so there's a backup waiting for it. So you know what? While we wait, we're going to extend our Duolingo streak. This video is not sponsored, unless you want to sponsor me, Duolingo. So, what about the other apps on my phone? I didn't really have a problem doom scrolling on those apps, but I didn't want my brain to go from one dopamine drip to another. So I decided to mute all of the notifications from the other apps. So no Threads, no Reddit. I could watch YouTube, but only on my TV and not scrolling on my phone. And lastly, I figured it wasn't just enough to detox. I had to actively rewire my brain, otherwise I would fall back into the same pattern that I was in when I left Instagram a week ago. I had to give my brain other ways of seeking novelty or reward, or lessen its need to want to seek those out. If I'm going to get over my doom scrolling dopamine addiction, that means there's only one place to go. One place that I swore to myself I would never go again. But desperate times. We're going to Trader Joe's. Like Mordor, one does not simply walk into Trader Joe's. You first must brave the parking lot. Okay. Jesus. The reason that I'm braving the parking lot of Trader Joe's to try to do something to reset my brain and change my award, to change the award center in my brain so that the dopamine doesn't come from scrolling, but it comes from me actually rewarding myself. Do they not sell these anymore? No, wait. Is it? Milk chocolate. Oh, here it is. Dark chocolate. Almonds. Brown sugar. So here's the plan. You can ignore all the packing stuff in the background. That's the side gig. The main gig is screenwriting. So this is how we're going to stay focused and on task. I've got my snacks here. The idea is not to just snack willy-nilly. The idea is to reward myself for doing something well. This is something that I would do back in college when I was studying for like a test or a quiz. If I was doing flashcards and I got one right, I would reward myself with a snack. If I was doing a self-quiz and I got a certain number right, I would reward myself with a snack. So we're going to implement that here with our writing. So if I complete a page, I'll get a snack. If I'm working on a scene and it's a little difficult and I push through, then we get a snack. Again, the idea is to change the dopamine release system in the brain to make me want to push through, to make me want to do something that's difficult because I know that there's a snack at the end of it. As opposed to what I would normally do if something starts getting a little hard. If I get stuck on a scene, my mind would sort of start to wander, my brain would seek some type of dopamine release, and I would end up checking notifications, I would go on Instagram. So now we're going to change all that. So let's see how it goes. And this was it, guys. This was the last of my week. I want to say that it's been resounding success. The first few days I had trouble. I wanted to check my phone, check my notifications, check Instagram, but after day 3, I really kind of got in the groove, and I was able to get through this entire writing session without feeling the need to grab my phone. The final test was going to a coffee shop and sitting, and then just being there, being present. I sat down and everybody else was on their phone, working or just scrolling, and I just was there. I was just present without the need to seem busy, to seem like I was entertaining myself, or to seem like I wasn't preoccupied. And I think that was the best feeling of all. But hey, thanks for checking this out and being on this mini journey with me. If you want, you can check out another video and subscribe to stay up to date with all my other projects.